In the silent Nevada desert, a hidden runway awakens beneath the rising dawn. A metallic giant waits motionless on the tarmac, its presence radiating secrecy and power as if history is preparing to shift in absolute silence. The aircraft's sleek body gleams under the early sun, stretching like a creature engineered for speed beyond imagination. Heat waves shimmer around it, distorting the air as engineers observe cautiously, sensing they're standing before technology far ahead of anything ever revealed. Its needle-sharp nose extends impossibly long, built to slice the sky with almost surgical precision. Without a single window, the jet appears faceless and intelligent, like a machine designed not for flight, but for domination of the atmosphere itself. Around the jet, heavily armed personnel move with disciplined urgency, guarding something the world was never meant to see. Classified files mention only a cold code name, Project S-37, leaving its true purpose hidden behind layers of secrecy and redacted history. The powerful engines emit a deep resonance that vibrates through the ground like a dormant beast awakening. Technicians exchange anxious glances, aware this machine is not just experimental, it feels alive, aware, and waiting for the moment to unleash itself. Inside the control center, screens flash streams of encrypted data, displaying numbers that defy conventional limits. Officials monitor silently, knowing they're not supervising a simple test flight. They're witnessing humanity's attempt to break physics and rewrite aviation's future forever. Outside, even the desert wind pauses as energy builds beneath the jet's metallic skin. A faint glow pulses across its body, as if the aircraft draws power from something deeper than fuel, something experimental, unpredictable, and potentially uncontrollable. Test pilot Marcus Hale enters the cockpit, greeted not by windows, but by crystal-sharp digital displays forming a synthetic world. One system failure could blind him instantly, yet he breathes steady, knowing this mission will define everything aviation becomes next. The onboard AI activates, mapping a glowing route through the upper atmosphere like a path into the unknown. The jet rumbles impatiently, prepared to ignite. Engineers brace themselves, understanding this ignition begins a flight no human has ever attempted. The S-37 accelerates down the runway, gaining impossible speed until the ground blurs beneath it. Then, without a thunderous boom, the aircraft vanishes into the sky, a silent streak of power that marks the beginning of a classified revolution. Marcus grips the controls as the engine's roar transforms into a deep, vibrating hum. Sensors flicker, stabilizing under immense strain, while the aircraft climbs upward, piercing layers of atmosphere few machines have ever dared to touch before. The jet slices through thin air as speed increases, leaving behind a trail barely visible to the human eye. Shock waves ripple outward, but remain strangely quiet, as if engineered to silence nature's own violent reactions. Inside the control room, anxiety rises as telemetry spikes into ranges previously thought impossible. Engineers exchange stunned looks, realizing the jet is surpassing predicted thresholds, moving faster than any classified prototype documented in the past decade. Marcus feels gravity tightening around his chest, yet the aircraft remains stable, gliding through near-space altitude. The sky above darkens into a deep blue-black, signaling he's entering the transitional edge where atmosphere begins releasing its grip. Sensors detect rising plasma sheathing around the aircraft, glowing like liquid fire. Marcus steadies his breathing, knowing a single structural flaw could tear the jet apart at these punishing speeds, yet the machine holds firm. Ground analysts observe the plasma signature with disbelief, whispering that the aircraft is behaving more like a spacecraft than a plane. The energy field forming around it wasn't fully predicted in simulations, raising both excitement and fear. Wind resistance collapses into near silence as the aircraft reaches hypersonic thresholds. Marcus watches the synthetic horizon shift, realizing the jet is approaching a realm so thin only specialized craft can survive the pressure differences. A warning flashes, thermal boundary approaching. Marcus steadies the throttle, knowing he must maintain balance between speed and structural integrity. Too slow and data becomes useless, too fast and he risks catastrophic disintegration mid-flight. Scientists back at the base quietly debate whether the jet's heat signature is genuinely stable or simply moments from collapse. Instruments blur between green and yellow indicators, each fluctuation sending waves of tension through the team. The aircraft suddenly breaks into a smooth glide as turbulence thins. Marcus exhales for the first time, witnessing Earth curve beneath him, an awe-striking reminder that this flight pushes humans closer to the edge of space. A sudden vibration rattles the jet's frame, making Marcus tighten his harness. The AI compensates instantly, adjusting micro-wing surfaces to stabilize aerodynamics, yet the disturbance hints at atmospheric pockets previously uncharted at such speeds. Engine data spikes into an upper band, surprising analysts who thought the scramjet couldn't sustain further acceleration. With every passing second, the aircraft proves itself beyond theoretical limits, surpassing all earlier classified hypersonic records. Marcus sees the external temperature gauges soaring, but the aircraft's internal temperature remains stable, a breakthrough suggesting the experimental heat shielding is redistributing extreme energy perfectly. This alone could revolutionize future aviation technology. Back on the ground, commanders observe the real-time map as the S-37 moves faster than satellites can track. The icon blurs across screens, forcing technicians to manually adjust tracking algorithms. Suddenly, the aircraft's AI announces atmospheric interference ahead, a dense, unpredictable region rarely encountered at these altitudes. Marcus adjusts course slightly, hoping to slip between pockets without overloading the jet's delicate systems.
Winds swirled distorted patterns across the scanner, forming structures that shouldn't exist at this height. Scientists suspect military weather tests elsewhere may have created artificial turbulence fields, adding unexpected danger to the mission. Marcus feels pressure shift as the jet dips briefly, then regains perfect alignment. The stabilization system responds faster than human reflexes, turning chaos into seamless flight. It feels less piloted and more symbiotic. Engine temperatures settle again, surprising analysts who expected a spike. It's as if the jet is adapting on its own, learning the sky's behavior the way living organisms adapt to threats in nature. Marcus switches to high-resolution external cameras, revealing streaks of ionized air trailing behind the aircraft like burning ribbons. The sight is both beautiful and terrifying, a reminder of the violent forces wrapped around him. The AI requests permission to test a secondary flight mode designed to reduce heat further. Marcus hesitates but agrees, initiating a transition that shifts the jet's airflow pattern into an entirely new aerodynamic geometry. The aircraft suddenly glides smoother than before, its outer shell shimmering as air channels redistribute. The transformation feels like watching a machine evolve mid-flight, unlocking capabilities beyond initial design specifications. Control room operators stare wide-eyed as drag reduction drops dramatically, granting the aircraft even more speed potential. The readings appear almost unreal, bordering on science fiction prototype performance. Marcus adjusts heading toward the test corridor, a designated airspace reserved for missions too dangerous for civilian skies. This region exists only on black budget maps, unseen by public satellites or aviation logs. A slight tremor breaks the silence as cosmic radiation pings the sensors, detectable only at extreme altitudes. Marcus wonders if the jet's shielding can withstand prolonged exposure beyond predicted thresholds.
Heat signatures from the engine rise again, but the onboard AI compensates by opening microvents along the fuselage. The aircraft cools rapidly, proving the cutting-edge thermal system works flawlessly under pressure. Ground teams cheer as the temperature stabilizes, knowing this cooling breakthrough alone could change the future of hypersonic travel. But they quickly refocus. One success doesn't guarantee survival at these punishing speeds. Marcus prepares for the next phase, testing silent sonic compression. Unlike traditional supersonic jets, the S-37 is meant to fly without thunderous booms, bending shock waves into harmless pressure ripples. He pushes the throttle carefully, watching pressure waves reshape around the jet like fluid. Instead of colliding violently, they slip past one another, dissolving into soft disturbances, barely detectable to ground sensors. Control room analysts confirm what they feared impossible. The jet is traveling faster than sound without producing a boom. This breakthrough, if public, would disrupt every global aviation law written in the past century. Marcus feels the aircraft entering hyper-smooth flow, as if gliding on invisible rails. Static electricity dances across the fuselage, forming faint arcs that sparkle against the darkening sky. Unexpectedly, a sensor alerts atmospheric instability ahead, a rapidly forming low-pressure anomaly. Marcus considers turning back, but mission protocols require collecting data from these dangerous pockets. He dives slightly to approach the anomaly's edge, watching turbulence swirl in chaotic spirals. Air behaves strangely at these speeds, making the jet feel like it's slicing through shifting glass. The aircraft jolts as it hits the disturbance, rattling violently before stabilizing. Marcus tightens grips on controls, while AI adjusts microflaps to absorb shock forces exceeding simulated expectations. Scientists watch seismic-like spikes on their monitors, comparing turbulence impact to small earthquakes in the jet's structure. Yet the fuselage remains intact, proving its design stronger than predicted. Marcus exits the anomaly, relieved to feel the aircraft smoothing out again. But he notices faint stress lines forming on the display, indicating microfractures that could spread if pressure increases. Engineers quickly debate whether to abort, but the fractures appear contained. The aircraft can continue, barely. Marcus pushes forward, determined to reach the mission's final altitude. The S-37 enters the uppermost test layer, a silent highway of thin atmosphere where the boundary of space approaches. The world below shrinks into a gentle curve coated in calm blue haze. Marcus initiates the data collection sequence, launching sensors from the aircraft to measure radiation and pressure. Capsules drift behind the jet like glowing sparks against the dark sky. Radiation spikes unexpectedly, catching analysts off guard. The region is far hotter than simulations predicted, putting both pilot and aircraft at serious risk. Marcus steadies his breath as heat warnings flash around him. The shields strain but hold, absorbing brutal waves of energy that would melt traditional airframes instantly.
Marcus activates secondary stabilization and the jet tilts slightly to align with atmospheric currents. AI calculates adjustments in milliseconds, keeping the aircraft intact while collecting critical hypersonic environmental data for the first time in aviation history. The plasma sheath surrounding the aircraft flickers like molten metal as ionized air flows along its body. Marcus marvels at the surreal glow, understanding this visual confirms the S-37 is operating beyond any prior human experience. Ground teams monitor telemetry, amazed as heat, pressure, and velocity readings stabilize despite extreme altitude. The S-37 is proving the impossible, a silent, hypersonic, stable aircraft capable of operating where physics seemed unbreakable. A sudden solar flare radiates across the horizon, momentarily coloring the sky in bright electric streaks. Marcus feels the disturbance, but the jet's shielding disperses it efficiently, a testament to advanced engineering.
The aircraft glides through the upper atmosphere, shock waves almost invisible to the naked eye. Sensors confirmed no sonic boom reaches the ground, a milestone that could redefine supersonic aviation standards worldwide. Marcus begins descent toward testing corridor for final data collection. Each meter closer to Earth shifts pressure and gravity, testing the S-37's structural integrity to its maximum potential. Control teams prepare for the landing sequence, monitoring all environmental variables. If even one sensor fails, recovery might be compromised, but the aircraft's systems respond with flawless precision. As the jet nears lower atmosphere, turbulence rises. Marcus steadies the aircraft as microflaps adjust thousands of times per second to counter tiny air pockets invisible to human eyes. Heat signatures spike momentarily during the final descent, glowing orange along fuselage edges. Yet shields redistribute energy flawlessly, showcasing advanced thermal management beyond anything tested before. Marcus activates final approach protocols. The jet's AI calculates optimal glide angles, landing vectors, and engine throttling sequences to ensure a perfect touchdown on the desert runway. Wind gusts push against the jet as it approaches the runway. Marcus gently counters with micro-adjustments, a dance of human skill and AI precision, ensuring stability at dangerous hypersonic speeds. Ground teams track telemetry nervously. Every second counts. If the jet touches down off balance, years of classified research could be lost in moments of disaster. The S-37 lands with barely a vibration, skimming the tarmac silently. A collective gasp erupts in control rooms as engineers confirm the impossible, safe hypersonic landing without sonic disruption. Marcus exhales, knowing the mission is a success. Every sensor reading, every thermal spike, every AI calculation had been validated in real-world flight. This is unprecedented aviation history. Ground crews approach carefully, still wary of latent energy effects. The S-37 sits motionless, glowing faintly, a testament to the marriage of engineering precision and human courage. Control rooms buzz with excitement as engineers analyze flight data. Every record shows stability, silent supersonic travel, and flawless system adaptation. This jet has redefined what humanity thought possible in aviation. Marcus climbs out of the cockpit, smiling despite exhaustion. The aircraft remains intact, its experimental systems having survived extreme stress. He realizes that today, aviation boundaries were permanently shifted. Officials and engineers begin detailed debriefs. Every minor anomaly is recorded, every adjustment noted. The S-37's performance must inform future hypersonic designs and silent supersonic flight protocols. Outside, the desert glows under the setting sun. The S-37 gleams like a monument to secrecy and innovation, hinting at a future where supersonic jets could silently reshape global travel. Control room screens show atmospheric data being saved for simulations. Researchers plan months of analysis to understand every quiver of airflow and every ionized spark experienced during the flight. The jet's AI completes final diagnostics, confirming systems remain operational. Its fusion of autonomy and design stability suggests a new era where machines can safely manage hypersonic human transport. Marcus takes one last walk around the aircraft. Its fuselage gleams, almost otherworldly, reflecting the desert sunset and hinting at technologies that could redefine air dominance. Engineers discuss scaling technology for production. If successful, this could lead to commercially viable supersonic travel without sonic booms over cities, something decades of Concorde prototypes could not achieve. News outlets remain unaware. This flight, though historic, exists only in classified reports. The world outside continues under the assumption that supersonic overland travel is impossible.
Marcus reviews the flight footage, amazed at data showing silent shock waves and ionized plasma trails. He realizes the mission's success is more than technical. It is a paradigm shift.
Engineers prepare thermal imagery for detailed review, highlighting heat dissipation, atmospheric compression, and structural stress. Each frame is a goldmine for future aircraft development. The jet sits in the desert, serene and silent. After hours of stress and velocity extremes, it has survived flawlessly, a symbol of cutting-edge aerodynamics and human ambition. Marcus removes his helmet, taking in the desert air. The flight marks the dawn of silent, high-speed aviation and the first successful test of true hypersonic control. Engineers measure and document every detail of the aircraft. Each small success during the flight now translates into potentially global applications in both military and civilian aviation. Control teams discuss simulations for longer missions. With this test proving viability, extended supersonic flights over cities could one day become reality without environmental disruption. Marcus reflects quietly. He understands this is only the beginning. The S-37 represents decades of secret research, now validated in real-world conditions, a new chapter in aviation history. Ground teams perform careful post-flight inspections. Every panel, engine, and sensor is verified, ensuring data reliability and aircraft integrity for future tests. Thermal shields are checked and recalibrated. They endured extreme hypersonic heat, confirming new materials can survive the harshest conditions on Earth or beyond. Analysts compare telemetry to simulations. Every micro-adjustment aligns perfectly, proving the AI's predictive algorithms exceed prior human expectations. Marcus reviews flight logs detailing pressure, speed, temperature, and plasma readings. Each entry tells a story of a mission that dared to defy known aerodynamics. The sun sets fully. The desert is calm again, a silent witness to a machine that challenged physics and survived, waiting for the next flight. Engineers take 3D scans of the aircraft for modeling and testing. Every curve, every micro-ridge is cataloged for future production and refinement. Marcus participates in debriefing, noting minor anomalies. Each observation could refine AI, thermal shields, or shockwave management in future prototypes. The jet's experimental engine is removed carefully for analysis. The data promises insights into sustainable hypersonic propulsion. Ground teams begin simulations to expand flight envelope, testing hypothetical routes across continents. Silent supersonic travel could cut global flight times dramatically. Marcus writes a report summarizing pilot observations. Human intuition and AI collaboration proved essential to the mission's success. The S-37 is covered and secured. Its mission, invisible to the world, ensures secrecy while pushing aviation technology decades ahead. Commanders review every risk factor, preparing protocols for the next test flight. Each minor adjustment now carries historical significance. Analysts project long-term applications. Silent hypersonic jets could transform travel, military operations, and scientific exploration of near space. Marcus reflects on human achievement. The aircraft, though silent and secret, represents courage, innovation, and the pursuit of the impossible. Engineers note microplasma formation patterns, a breakthrough in shockwave management. This knowledge will redefine aviation standards globally. AI logs are downloaded for long-term analysis. Every millisecond of the flight will inform future designs and autonomous flight protocols. The aircraft is secured for maintenance. All systems are nominal, proving experimental materials and designs can endure extreme stress repeatedly.
Marcus takes a final glance at the aircraft. Its sleek silhouette seems almost alive, an artifact of both secrecy and genius hidden in the desert. The mission concludes, data secured, jet intact, history quietly rewritten. Humanity has witnessed its first successful silent hypersonic flight, a secret now ready to shape the future of aviation forever.